So hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to learn how to make a crochet corset top, a cup of it. So I'm going to use a 3.5 hook and this yarn. So first I'm going to tie a knot, then I'm going to chain 4, so after that I'm going to do 2 single chains onto the first loop that I made. So 1, 2. So this is what we have, and then the third one too. So this is what we're having, and after that I'm going to chain 2, and after chaining 2 we're going to deal with these inner loops, and each loop I'm going to do 1 single crochet. So you're just going to insert your hook onto the first loop and do a single crochet, inner loops, then another inner loop, so onto this last loop we are going to do 2 single chains. So 1, 2. So this is what we have. So after that I am going to chain 2. After chaining 2 I'm going to turn my work, and I'm going to insert my hook into both loops. You can see, and I'm going to do single crochets inside the loops. So like I said previously, onto the last loop we are going to do 2 chains inside. So I'm going to do 2 chains inside this last loop. So to sum a total of 8, since you are increasing. So after that I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going now to start dealing with the inner loop like what I was doing previously. So on the first row we dealt with the inner loop, on the second we dealt with both loops, on the third we're going to deal with the inner loops again. By inner loop I mean we're going to deal with this loop and not both 2 loops. So we begin from the start, and as we complete we do 2 chains since we are increasing. We do 2 single crochets, I mean. So as we complete, you do 2 single crochets instead of 1. So as you can see, this is what it's forming, and this is what it looks like so far. So after that I'm going to chain 2, turn my work. Then now on our 4th row we are going to deal with both 2 loops. So I'm just going to insert my hook into both 2 loops, and I'm going to do single crochets. So this is all you are going to do till you do 10 rows. As you increase, as you complete your row, you do 2 single crochets and you begin your row from the first loop of the row. So as you complete your row, you do 2 chains instead of 1 chain. For those who can't, so this is what I'm having on this row. So this is what I'm having. So I presume from there you have understood how we do it. And so I'm going to chain 2, and on my 5th row I'm going to deal with these inner loops again. So I'm just going to insert my hook into this loop, and I'm going to do a single crochet. For those who can't reach the last loop, you can always do 3 double crochets in the previous loop. So I'm just going to deal with my inner loops, and on conclusion I'm going to do 2 inner loops on completion of the row. And let's meet when you have 5 rows of this, which sums up to 10 rows. This is what it looks like, and this is what it looks like from behind. So I am done with 5. As you can see, 1 2 3 4 5. So this is that part that it keeps increasing, like I said, as you complete 2 crochets and you start from the first chain. So after this we're going to need stagnant rows that are going to cover up the middle of the breast part, and after that then we are going to keep decreasing again. So on reaching here, we're just going to chain 2, continue with our pattern. So our last pattern was dealing with both loops, so now I'm going to start to dealing with single loops. So I'm just going to skip now the first loop, which is this one, and I'm going to start onto the second loop, so that to create a straight, since we are not increasing anymore. So after that, after chaining 2, after skipping the first loop, I'm going to start onto the second loop, and I'm going to keep doing my single crochets, and on to completion. I am not going to increase anything since we already have our desired breast size. So I'm going to need, these were 1 2 3 4 5. So since it's a tutorial, I'm just going to add 3 rows, and as for you, you can add as many rows as you want that can cover up the middle of your breast part. So I'm just going to keep doing single crochets. So on completion, we are not adding any more. We are not making rows longer anymore. So I'm just going to chain 1 and chain 2 and turn my work and do. So you're going just to do what you're just going to, so as I said previously, you're going to skip these first 2 loops and you're going to start with these 2 loops, since we are on the row that requires us to handle both loops. So you're going to add the desired rows that you want. Personally, I said I'm going to add 3 more, and let's meet when I'm done. On completion of 4 rows, this is what I'm having. So now we have a total of 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. And so after this, I'm going to start decreasing so that we can come back to this shape. So I'm going to chain 2. After chaining 2, turn my work, and since we are dealing with this inner loop, I'm going to skip 1 2, and I'm going to deal with my 3rd loop. So I'm just going to start from here, insert my hook and do my single crochet. So you'll be skipping 2 loops and starting from the 3rd loop. If it's at 2 loops row, skip 2 loops and start onto the third full loop row. So I'm just going to do single crochets till the end of the row. So on completion, you can see now we have 2 chains remaining, and 2 chains remaining. We are going just to chain the one chain, and we will be leaving one chain behind. So we will be chaining, skipping 2 chains in the beginning and leaving one chain in the end. So I'm just going to chain 2, and after chaining 2, I'm going to skip 2 loops, 1 2, and I'm going to start from the third one. So I'm just going to insert my hook. So I'm skipping 1 2, and I'm going to start from the third one, this one. I'm going to insert my hook, and I'm going to do single crochets till the end of this row. So that's what we'll be doing. As you start a row, skip 2 chains, begin on the third one. As you complete a row, skip 1 chain, and we will realize that we'll return to the first 5 chains that we are using to increase this row. So I hope you are all making the same progress. So you can see that it's starting to form the decrease shape, and I hope you are in the same. So just chain 2, turn your work. Since you're dealing with the inner loop, skip 1 2 3 and start from the third chain. So I'm going to skip 1 2, and I'm going to start from here, and I'm going to do single chains till the end of this row. And upon the end of this row, I am going to leave 1 chain unattended because we are decreasing. So 1 chain space is remaining, and you're just going to leave 1 space, chain 2, leave 1 chain. Then when you chain 2, start from the third till you have your desired cap size, until you get back to here. So I'm just going to skip 2 and begin on the third one. So on completion, this is what we have. So after this, you're just going to do single chains all around this to create a desired look. So I'm just going to do single chains all around. So I'm just going to keep doing single chains in every space all around till we meet from where we started, and let's meet when I'm done. It's just single chains in every space till I am done. Now it's completed, and you can see what you have from the inner side and from the outer side. So from that side, we're just going to continue. We are on the last parts, and I'm going to make sure that the sides that so now we are going to add the upper parts, and you're going to make sure that the side that you're going to use, the back part of it should be similar to this, and the front part of it should be similar to this. So I'm just going to return with this side, since we are going to use this inner loop, and like this side, when you use the inner loop, this other side will be the back side of this. So I'm just going to chain 2, turn my work and start from the second loop, because these 2 chains count as the first chain. So I'm just going to start from here, and I'm going to do single chains into my inner loop till I am done with this row. After doing single chains, this is what it looks like. So I'm just going to chain 2 and turn my work, and I'm going now to deal with both loops. So I'm going to need, they are always recommended that you do 3 rows of these, just the same way you are doing here, but you're just not increasing anything nor decreasing anything. So you're just going to make it stagnant, just like that. So you can see it's forming the same shape as these other ones, and you're going to need 3 rows of this. As you can see it from behind, how it looks like. And let's complete this. After my second row, so I'm just going to do my last row. My final row is complete, and this is the outcome. So if you don't, I think I have illustrated well enough. And this is always the upper part, while this one is always the lower part. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share.